Hey y'all, welcome back. This is just Kelly Vlogs and I'm Kelly. I guess I'm saying welcome back to you and to myself because it has been quite some time since I've been vlogging and since I posted a video. It is today, I think it's July 10th. And for those of you who may or may not remember, if you don't, that's totally fine. Last year on July 21st, we're not gonna forget that date. On July 21st, I decided to embark on a year of intentional singleness, and I posted one of my first videos that was single as a Pringle and not gonna mingle, which was a really fun video to post, and then also just a really great way for me to sort of diary a little bit or journal a little bit of like what I was planning to do with my year of intentional singleness, what my goals were. I started off with an array of list of things. You guys can check the video. I'm going to link it somewhere around here for you guys to be able to look at it later on, or go watch that first and then come back and watch this if you would like so. But I had a whole list of things and things that I wanted to accomplish in this year. A couple of them were I wanted to go on a date with God. I wanted to do learn to love people better. Love myself more, learn more about myself. But the biggest one was just building a deeper and stronger relationship with Christ. So some of those have been accomplished and some of them maybe not so much. So I went on about 2 dates in this past year with God, which were really fun. They just got a little bit harder to do once we went into lockdown with like COVID and stuff. And also just really, it just made it really hard to sort of pinpoint where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do with them. I didn't want it to always be like going out and eating, but I have been able to have time with God alone. So maybe we can count those as mini dates. And a few, maybe a month ago or a couple weeks ago, we went to Camp Mardella, which I also posted a video about that a while ago too. It was a little bit of a retreat. It was a fall retreat and we spent just a day there. I spent, I think like 6 hours of quiet time where I just read and transferred a bunch of notes from sermons that I had listened to, and I learned a whole lot. And so, but I wanted to make this video, one, to say sorry that I've been gone for so long. I'm hoping to get back into the groove of getting videos done. My church was online for a bit, and so I was helping out with video editing. And those of you who do some sort of YouTube stuff, you know that video editing takes a lot of time and effort, and while I wasn't doing this every week, it still took up time. And then life just kind of picked up with, quarantine being over, people getting vaccinated, and just all the fun stuff that's been happening with life getting a little bit back to normal. So this will probably be a video on the longer end, just giving y'all a heads up, but I hope you guys stick to it. And really the point of it is just to catch you up on what this past year of intentional singleness has meant to me, what I've learned, and what my goals are moving forward. Again, I talked about my year of intentional singleness just being like a time where I got to know myself, which I think I have. I've done a little bit more journaling than I usually do. I've gotten into really good habits of just taking time to like listen to myself, listen about how I feel about stuff. I think I've gotten to know myself a lot better, I'd say, in this past year, being more confident in who I am. I was also on a little bit of a weight loss journey, which I've lost some weight, which has been really exciting because I just feel so much more confident now. And, the weight loss wasn't about, a number. It's more just feeling good in my own skin. And I'm not exactly where I want to be just yet, but I'm a lot closer, and it's just been super exciting. And I'm super proud of myself for committing to it and for continuing to do this. And thanks to God, to Christ, for giving me the strength to be able to do these things, the time, so that's been really cool. I've gotten into the habit of reading the Bible more, which it sounds a little cliche because a lot of Christians will say this, once you read the Bible, you start to, your life gets a little bit better, things just start making a little bit more sense. And while I've only read a few chapters, I definitely feel like it's been helpful. I feel like I've been looking at life a little bit differently in times where in the past I would have looked at situations and been like, this is a hot mess, like what am I doing, or God, what are you doing? I've been able to look at this and just kind of be like, hey, life is actually not so bad. Or example, about a week ago, my car was not turning on. My beautiful car that I got not even a year ago, the starter wasn't working and the battery was off. I had no idea what that was. If you don't know, that's okay. But it turns out I needed to get that replaced, but I didn't know this at the time. I just knew my car wasn't turning on. And in normal circumstances, before this year of intentional singleness, before building a life with, or a relationship with Christ, I would have just cried, been very upset, and wondered, why me? Why is my car breaking down? Why are things just like not going the way that I want them to go? But instead of doing that, I was able to just kind of laugh it off and be like, you know what? The metro is 3 minutes away from my job. I'll make it home. I'm not in a rush. I'm okay. And while this, figuring out what was wrong with my car and getting it fixed was stressful, it also was totally fine because I got to figure it out. My car's perfectly fine now. I changed the things that needed to be changed. It wasn't nearly as expensive as I expected it to be. So yeah, I'm just really happy that it all worked out. Didn't spend that much money, and my parents had just bought a new car, so I got to borrow theirs, and I didn't have to spend money on a car rental or anything like that. So yeah, just a couple of things like that have happened in my life recently where I would have reacted differently before, and now I'm just kind of like, it's okay, life is fine, it's gonna work out, I'm not dying, everything's okay. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. I'm happy about like the way that I'm handling things better. Also, sorry if the lighting starts moving. I'm using natural light and it's nearing sunset, so trying to make sure I catch this light before it's gone. And so there'll probably be shadows here now and here and there or whatever. But anyway, and so that's sort of what I've learned from Bible reading. I've also been journaling. Dates I said I haven't done too many, but the ones that I did were very, very helpful and enlightening, and I liked them a lot. I've been doing a lot of reading. Aside from the Bible, like I'm reading this one book. It's called True Love Dates by Deborah Filetta. And it's a really good book. I think it's broken down into 3 parts, where it's dating inward, which is what I was already doing, which is my year of intentional singleness, which is like getting to know myself and who I am. And then there's the dating outward, which is, when you're getting ready to go out and how you should date and compose yourself in a relationship with someone else. And the dating upward, which is, building a relationship with God and making sure that you're focused on Him and really Him. And so that one's hit home a little bit more recently because I have found, especially with the year of intentional singleness ending, I'm gonna be very honest with y'all, I'm really terrified, words I thought I'd never be saying, because at the beginning of this, I was like, oh yeah, year of intentional singleness is fun, like this is cool, it's a new experience. Got 6 months in, I think, or so, and I was like, this is way too long. Why did I commit to a year? And like, I could have a relationship, I'm 25, like this, I'm just wasting time. I really should just trying to start my life. And that was me for a little bit, and just kind of feeling like, I just want a relationship right now. And, but I'm on this year of intentional singleness and I can't just like give it up. I mean, I could have, but I didn't want to because I had committed to it. I'd promised it to myself and to God. So I was like, okay, whatever. Well, I was upset for a while. And then, 3 months ago, I got to this point where I'm like, actually, I'm good with where I'm at. I'm good with being single. I realized that there's so much freedom, so much like beauty in being single, and so many things that I can do as a single woman that I probably wouldn't be able to do as someone in a relationship, engaged or married. I have a friend who got engaged in this time, and while I'm super happy for her, I generally do not envy her. It's very stressful planning a wedding, and I'm here for her and like to help her out, but I personally just am not at that state right now in trying to plan a wedding, and also just trying to divide my life and like my desires. That sounds very selfish, but I think I'm at a state in my life where I can be selfish and I can cater to my own desires and what I want in the moment, in a given moment, and what I want to do, and not have to consult with another person. And just like looking at the perks of being single has been great. But also something that it wasn't the first time I'd heard it, but something that was really helpful that I heard in a sermon a few months ago was, being single or being married are not a blessing or punishment. So you're not single, being single is not a punishment because you're not there yet. I think as Christians, we constantly say like, oh, I'm just single because I'm not at a state where I'm ready, where we almost phrase it as like, I'm not good enough to be in a relationship. I have things to work on. I have things to improve on. The point is that whether you're in a relationship or not, you always have things to work on. It's just different stages. And so therefore, you know, you being single, me being single, was not God punishing me or saying, oh, you need to get to a certain level before I can reward you with this. And eventually, if I do get into a relationship, it's not going to be a reward for me having dealt with certain things. It's just a stage in life that God wants me to go through. And that was earth-shattering for me. I think I had heard it, but this was the first time it hit home. And I was like, yeah, I'm not being punished. Like, being single isn't just like I'm not good enough. It's not where I'm at right now. And it is where some of my friends are, whether they're younger or not than me. And it's hard sometimes. It definitely is. But once I realized that, once I internalized it a little bit more, it was very, very, very helpful. Another thing that I also... I've kind of found refuge in that, or just being like, oh, there's nothing wrong with me. There's always something wrong with us, but that's not why I'm single. It's just not the stage I'm supposed to be in. So that's been helpful. Another thing that has also been, or that was also helpful, was just kind of enjoying where I'm at right now, and the freedom. I think I talked about that already, and I don't want to be redundant, so I'm not going to keep going. But it's been cool. I've also just found refuge in building my relationship with Christ, because I didn't really necessarily have a deep one before. So building this deep relationship with him has been really nice. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that now everything's fixed and I don't care about relationships. I do still. I would definitely love to have somebody in my life to share it with, but I'm understanding that that's not where God wants me right now, and I'm accepting of it. And I'm trying to get to a point still where, you know, if God does say, Kelly, you're not going to have someone and you're going to be single the rest of your life, I'm going to be like, it's okay. Right now, I think I'm trying to convince myself that I can get to that point, just in case that is, you know, my fall safe. But I'm hoping that, you know, that God's gonna, you know, bless me with a husband, a loving husband who's gonna be amazing, and I'm gonna be an amazing wife to him. But even if he doesn't, I know that he's working all things out for good. And they may not always feel that way, but they're always gonna work out for me. And God loves me, he loves you, and he's gonna work everything out for the better. And he's got the game plan. We just got to go along. We're along for the ride, and I need to remember that often. Sorry, that sun is real bright. But yeah, so that's been very reassuring. And honestly, like I said, I'm a little bit terrified of leaving this year of intentional singleness, you know, having it come to an end, because it's now come to a point where I'm like, oh my goodness, like, my life is like my safety net of year of intentional singleness. Like, in this year I was able to go out and like meet people, and even if I saw a cute boy, I couldn't even, I mean, I could have, but I didn't really notice all that much, because I was like, you know what, he's, you know, even if he is cute, even if he is whatever, I'm on this year, I can't do anything about it. So I was able to just kind of like, whatever, it doesn't matter. But now that the year of intentional singleness is about to be over, I don't necessarily have that safety net. So I'm a little bit afraid that a little bit of the old me who was a little bit boy crazy is going to come out to play and want to, you know, see the boys and think about them and get distracted from Christ. Hoping that's not the case. But sorry, that sun is so bright. I'm hoping that's not the case at all. But only God will know, and all I can do is just really hone in on reading the Bible, building this relationship with God, improving myself as much as I can. And a verse that has come to my mind, or that I came to through this book, because an idea that it talked about was, you know, you could be the most God-serving person, the most active member in the church, but that doesn't necessarily matter as much as your heart. Because if you're doing this all just with the end goal of, I want to get to that level where I can have a relationship, as opposed to, I want to do this to praise God and to love him, there's something wrong with your heart if you're doing it just to attain a future spouse. And I'm afraid that that's the pattern. at risk of falling into without the year of intentional singleness being my little cushion, my little safety net. And so I'm trying in these last 2 weeks, because I'm 2 weeks shy of freedom, which I'm scared of, but I'm 2 weeks shy of it. And so something I've been trying to do is sort of equip myself with the tools that I'm going to need moving forward, where I won't have these training wheels, where I won't have this safety net to help me out. And where it's really just me and God. Because, the thing is, in this past year, I knew I was single because I was on this year of intentional singleness. So I was able to say, I'm single, and I have a say in why I'm single. Now moving forward, I'm going to be single, but I don't necessarily have a say in it. It's not a team decision. It is a God decision, and I'm just along for the ride. So losing that amount of control is a little bit scary, but it'll be really good because it means I get to grow. It means that I get to just see how much strength I have acquired in this past year and how much more strength I can acquire moving forward and building an even deeper relationship with God. And so back to the verse that I was telling you about, it's I found it in this book, and it's 2 Corinthians 10, verse 5, the second half. So it's not even the full verse. It's my first ever memory verse that I'm memorizing. And let's see if I get this right. So 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5, second section, 5b. We take captive every thought. We take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ, which I sometimes take out the we and just do the take every thought and make it captive. Oh, sorry, take captive every thought and make it obedient to Christ. And I love that because it seems like a command from God, from Christ, telling me, hey, Kelly, take your thoughts and make them obedient to me and you'll be okay. And I suffer, I struggle a lot with, not being as loving as I would like to be towards certain people. If I don't like you, it's a little bit hard for me to be loving. I also struggle with, being distracted by boys. And so these are all thoughts. And so I need to be able to, and so I'm hoping that by having this verse become my memory verse, I can use it as a mantra. And in the future, if I do find myself getting distracted, not being loving, being distracted by boys, being mean, thinking thoughts that I shouldn't be thinking, or that aren't God reflective, I can then remember that verse, repeat it in my head, and then through that be able to refocus on God and what it is that He would like me to be doing in that moment. And so what am I going to do with these last 2 weeks before I am, out in the world and about and moving forward? I plan on finishing this book. There's not a whole lot left, so there's let me see. Yeah, so there's just this much left, and I've already read through this. So I plan on finishing this book up. I plan on being more active with the vlog, and sort of catching you up on what my last couple weeks are. I'm going to maybe possibly do something where I think it's actually a week left. Is it 2 weeks? Something like that. But I plan on uploading this, but between now and when the July 22nd comes up, because July 22nd is my first day of non-year of intentional singleness. 21st is the last day. I hope to go on another date with God before that time. Maybe I'll do like a daily vlog or something small, just kind of seeing, what it's like what I'm feeling, what it's like for me moving into that new phase. And yeah, just kind of anything that I learned between now and then, I hope to be able to vlog and post. It may be a series of videos. It may just be one big video. I'm not entirely sure, but this is just a snippet of what I've learned so far. And I hope that you guys are enjoying it. I hope that a lot of the rambling that I did today has been helpful. Hopefully some of it was helpful. I know I rambled a lot, talked a lot. I, again, haven't done this in a while, so I'm forgetting to filter and be concise. But I will do more catching up, and I will see you all next time. Thanks again for tuning in, and if anything, again, was helpful to you, leave a comment down below. Tell me what was helpful, what wasn't helpful, what you would like me to change. And then also, if you think it'll help someone else, let them know about it. Again, the year of intentional singleness, I'm still in it right now, just a couple weeks shy of it being over, and I will keep y'all posted as much as I can. Thanks for joining me on the journey, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!